Picture this, March 2015, the heart of Uganda, one of Africa's most stunning national parks. A young woman on the adventure of a lifetime suddenly vanishes. But here's where this story goes from tragic to absolutely bizarre. Search teams find her underwear hanging 5 meters up a tree. That's 16 feet, about the height of a 2-story building. And directly below, her purse and shoes, placed neatly, deliberately. The 21-year-old medical student, gone without a trace. 9 years later, investigators, family members, and internet sleuths are still asking the same haunting question. What happened to Sophia Koetsier? And trust me, the theories you're about to hear will keep you up at night. Let's dive in. Before we get into the mystery, we need to talk about Sophia, because this isn't just another true crime story. This is about a real person with real dreams. Sophia Koetsier was 21 years old, studying medicine at the University of Maastricht in the Netherlands. By all accounts, she was exactly the kind of person you'd want as your doctor. Compassionate, driven, brilliant. Her friends described her as someone who genuinely wanted to make a difference. Not in that vague, maybe someday way we all talk about. Sophia was doing it. Which is exactly why, in early 2015, she made the decision to volunteer at a rural hospital in northern Uganda. Think about that for a second. At 21, most of us were worried about exams and weekend plans. Sophia, she was treating patients in a resource-limited setting, gaining hands-on experience and living out her values. And according to her social media posts from that time, she was loving it. The culture, the people, the challenge, the raw beauty of East Africa. After weeks of intense work at the hospital, Sophia decided to take a break, a well-deserved tourist excursion. She chose Murchison Falls National Park, Uganda's crown jewel. And honestly, you can see why. This place is incredible. The Nile River literally explodes through a narrow gorge, creating one of the world's most powerful waterfalls. It's surrounded by savanna, teeming with wildlife. It's the kind of place that ends up on your Instagram highlights reel. For Sophia, this was supposed to be the cherry on top of an already life-changing experience. Instead, it became the place where her story ends, and where one of the strangest mysteries of the decade begins.
All right, let's set the scene. March 14th, 2015. Murchison Falls National Park. Over 1,500 square miles of African wilderness, home to 76 species of mammals and 451 species of birds. Also home to some of the most dangerous animals on the planet, lions, crocodiles, hippos, which, fun fact, kill more people in Africa than any other large animal. Sophia was on an organized safari tour. This is important. She wasn't out there alone doing something reckless. This was a legitimate tour with guides who knew the area. Throughout the morning, everything was normal. Sophia was spotted by tour guides and other tourists, taking photos, enjoying the wildlife, living her best life. And then, sometime in the afternoon, she wasn't there anymore. Now here's where accounts get a bit murky. The exact circumstances of when she was last seen vary depending on the source, but what we do know is that at some point, Sophia became separated from her group. In a place like Murchison Falls, that's a big problem. The vegetation is dense, the wildlife is dangerous, and the terrain, it can be absolutely disorienting. By evening, when Sophia failed to return or make contact, alarm bells started ringing. Park rangers were mobilized, tour operators were contacted, the Ugandan authorities were notified. A search operation began immediately. Teams combed through the areas where Sophia was last seen. They called out her name, scoured the trails, checked all the logical places a lost tourist might end up. Hours turned into a full night. Night
turned into the next day. The search expanded. More personnel, more area covered. Helicopters joined the effort. Dogs tracked scents. Sophia's family back in the Netherlands was notified. Her parents immediately began making arrangements to fly to Uganda. Days passed. The searchers covered miles and miles of wilderness. And then, several days into the search, they found something.
Okay, deep breath. Because what search teams discovered is the reason this case has haunted investigators and true crime enthusiasts for nearly a decade. They found a tree. Nothing unusual about that in a national park, right? Except 5 meters up this tree, again, that's about 16 feet, roughly 2 stories high, was Sophia's underwear. Just hanging there. And at the base of the tree, her shoes, her purse, arranged neatly on the ground. Not scattered, not tossed aside, neatly placed. Let that sink in for a moment. How does underwear end up 16 feet up a tree? Why are the other belongings so carefully positioned? Where's the rest of her clothing? Where's Sophia? Investigators immediately secured the scene. Photos were taken, evidence was collected, every inch was documented. The items were analyzed for any trace evidence, DNA, fingerprints, fibers, anything that could tell a story. They looked at weather patterns. Had there been wind strong enough to blow items, rain that might have moved things, animal activity that could explain the arrangement? They tried to determine how long the items had been there. Was this recent? Had they been there since Sophia first disappeared? The area around the tree was meticulously searched. No signs of a struggle, no blood, no tissue, no obvious signs of violence. The search area was expanded even further from this location. Maybe this was a clue. Maybe Sophia was nearby. They searched water sources. The Nile runs through the park after all. Crocodiles are a very real danger. They searched ravines, thick brush, caves, anywhere a body might be hidden or a person might have fallen. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Nothing. Sophia Koetsier had seemingly vanished into thin air. All that remained was this incomprehensible scene, a scene that raised more questions than it answered. And here's the thing, this discovery didn't clarify anything. If anything, it made the entire situation more confusing. Because now investigators, and eventually the entire world watching this case, had to ask, what kind of scenario explains this evidence?
All right, let's break down the main theories. And I'm warning you, none of them perfectly explain what happened. That's what makes this case so incredibly frustrating and fascinating. Let's start with the most obvious explanation. Murchison Falls is full of dangerous wildlife. Lions, leopards, hippos, crocodiles, these animals kill people. It happens. Not often, but it happens. Here's the case for an animal attack. Large predators have been known to drag victims. They can scatter belongings. They're strong enough to move items around. Leopards specifically are known for dragging their prey up into trees to protect it from scavengers, so there is a precedent for items ending up in elevated locations. But here's where this theory falls apart. There was no blood found at the scene, no tissue, no signs of predation whatsoever. And animals don't arrange items neatly. They tear, they scatter, they create chaos. This scene was the opposite of chaos. Plus, despite extensive searches, including trained dogs, no remains were ever found. Not a bone, not a scrap of clothing beyond what was at the tree. Even if we consider a crocodile attack near water, victims typically leave some evidence behind. And again, the arrangement of the belongings just doesn't fit. Most experts agree, while animals might have been involved in some way, they don't explain the complete picture.
This theory suggests Sophia had some kind of accident, maybe heat exhaustion, dehydration, disorientation. The park has treacherous areas, hidden ravines, sudden drop-offs, water hazards. In extreme heat, people can become confused. They shed clothing. It's actually a documented phenomenon called paradoxical undressing that happens in late-stage hypothermia and sometimes severe heat stroke. Maybe Sophia became disoriented, removed some clothing, and then fell or wandered into an area where her body couldn't be recovered. But once again, those neatly placed belongings are a huge problem for this theory. Disoriented people don't carefully arrange their possessions. They drop things. They stumble away. The scene suggests consciousness and deliberation. The extensive water searches found nothing. Ground searches found nothing. And let's not forget, how does underwear get 16 feet up a tree in an accidental death scenario? Did Sophia climb up there while disoriented? Why? And where's the rest of her clothing? The accident theory handles some aspects, but fails on the crucial details. This is where things get seriously dark. What if someone else was involved? The staged nature of that scene, it screams human involvement. The careful placement of items, the bizarre positioning of the underwear high in the tree. This could be someone trying to send a message, or create confusion, or mislead investigators. The park had other visitors, staff, guides. It's not impossible that Sophia encountered someone with bad intentions. Crimes against tourists do happen, sometimes in places you'd least expect. But here's the problem. Despite extensive investigation, no suspects were ever identified, no persons of interest, no evidence of violence. There's no clear motive for targeting a random foreign medical student, no robbery. Her purse was right there with her belongings inside. The park had security. Other visitors were present. This wasn't a completely isolated location. And perhaps most importantly, if foul play occurred, where's the body? How did someone dispose of it so completely that not a trace has been found in 9 years? Foul play is definitely possible, but the lack of evidence makes it hard to prove.
Okay, hear me out. Some people do choose to disappear, start new lives, walk away from everything. Maybe Sophia staged this scene herself, made it look mysterious to throw off investigation while she vanished to start over somewhere else. But this theory has major problems. Every single person who knew Sophia said this would be completely out of character. There's no evidence of planning, no financial preparation, no withdrawing money, no secret accounts. Why put her family through this agony? Everything about Sophia suggested she was happy, fulfilled, excited about her future. And in today's connected world, it's incredibly hard to stay hidden for 9 years. No sightings, no digital footprint, no slip-ups. Most investigators have dismissed this theory entirely.
Final large X appears, decisive and final, erasing the theory completely.
Let's come back to the single most baffling piece of evidence, the underwear 16 feet up a tree. Could wind have blown it up there? Experts say unlikely. Underwear doesn't typically catch wind like that, and other light items weren't similarly displaced. Could a monkey or baboon have taken it up there? Possible, but then why just the underwear? Why not the purse, which primates would typically be more interested in? Could Sophia have climbed up and placed it there herself, while disoriented, while trying to signal for help? But then why just the underwear and not something more visible? Could someone else have put it there to confuse investigators? But why? What does it accomplish? Every single scenario has a "but what about" attached to it. And that is why 9 years later, this case remains completely unsolved. While investigators struggled with these impossible questions, Sophia's family was living through every parent's worst nightmare. Her parents flew to Uganda as soon as they heard she was missing. Imagine that flight, the longest hours of your life, not knowing if your daughter is alive or dead.
They joined search efforts. They hired private investigators. They met with local authorities, with park officials, with anyone who might have information. They organized media campaigns, appeared on Dutch news programs, did everything possible to keep Sophia's face in the public eye. They offered rewards for information, thousands of euros for anyone who could provide leads. But as days became weeks, weeks became months, and months became years, the horrible reality set in. The psychological toll of this kind of uncertainty is almost unimaginable. It's called ambiguous loss, when someone is physically gone, but you have no closure, no confirmation, no answers. The Dutch government got involved. Diplomatic channels were opened. This became an international incident. Ugandan authorities treated it seriously too. They wanted answers too. A missing foreign tourist is bad for tourism, bad for international relations. Media coverage spread across Europe. Dutch, British, German outlets picked up the story. Social media exploded with theories, prayers, and awareness campaigns. Hashtag Find Sophia trended multiple times. But as years passed without new evidence, the case went cold. On anniversaries, new searches would be organized, new appeals for information. Sophia's family never stopped hoping. Modern technology has been applied to the case. Satellite imagery reviewed, digital forensics on any recovered electronics, advanced search techniques. But the case remains officially open and completely unsolved. Now, Sophia's case isn't completely unique. People have disappeared in remote areas before. National parks worldwide have missing persons cases that remain unsolved. The United States has hundreds of unexplained disappearances in national parks. Australia has similar mysteries. Africa, with its vast wilderness areas, has seen tourists vanish before. But what makes Sophia's case stand out is that scene, those carefully placed items, that impossibly positioned underwear. Most missing persons cases in wilderness areas have straightforward, if tragic, explanations. Sophia's case has whatever this is, and that's what keeps people talking about it, researching it, trying to solve it nearly a decade later.
So, what can we actually learn from Sophia's disappearance? Because beyond the mystery, there are real lessons here. First, travel safety in remote areas. Always stay with your group in wilderness areas. Always. It takes seconds to become disoriented in unfamiliar terrain. Have multiple ways to communicate. Regular phone service doesn't work everywhere. Consider satellite communicators or GPS trackers. Share your detailed itinerary with multiple people. Not just, I'm going to Uganda, but specific locations, dates, times, guide names, contact numbers. Invest in comprehensive travel insurance that includes emergency evacuation and search and rescue coverage. Research the specific risks of your destination, wildlife, political situation, environmental hazards. Know before you go. Second, the reality of missing persons investigations. International cases are complicated. Different laws, different systems, language barriers, jurisdictional issues. Time is critical. The longer someone is missing, the harder it becomes to find them or determine what happened. Evidence degrades rapidly in wilderness environments. Weather, animals, natural decomposition, all of it works against investigation. There are thousands of people missing worldwide. Some get media attention, most don't. Resources are limited. The psychological impact on families is profound and lasting. It's trauma that never fully resolves without answers. Third, remember the person. It's easy to get caught up in the mystery, the theories, the strange evidence, the puzzle of it all. But Sophia was a real person. She had dreams, ambitions, people who loved her, a future that was stolen. Behind every missing persons case is a complete human being, not just a mystery to solve, but a life that mattered. The reason we share these stories, keep them alive in public consciousness, is because awareness can matter. Cases have been solved decades later because someone remembered something, someone came forward, new technology emerged. As long as people remember, as long as people keep asking questions, there's a chance for answers.
So here we are, March 2015 to December 2024. 9 years. 9 years of a family waiting for answers. 9 years of an unsolved mystery that seems to defy logic. A 21-year-old medical student vanishes. Her underwear ends up 16 feet up a tree. Her belongings are carefully arranged below. No body, no clear evidence of what happened. Was it an animal attack that somehow left this bizarre scene? An accident that we simply can't reconstruct? Foul play by an unknown perpetrator? Something else entirely that we haven't even considered? What we do know is that Sophia Koetsier deserved so much more. More years, more patience to help, more adventures, more life. Her family deserves answers, closure, peace. The case remains open. If you have any information about Sophia's disappearance, contact the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Interpol. Even the smallest detail could matter. Sometimes the most disturbing mysteries aren't the ones with clear villains or obvious answers. They're the ones that seem to exist in impossible spaces, where every explanation fails, where logic breaks down, where we're left with only questions. Sophia Koetsier's disappearance is one of those cases, and until someone, somewhere provides that missing piece, it will remain one of the most haunting, unsolved mysteries of our time.
If this case fascinated you as much as it did me, hit that subscribe button right now. We dive deep into unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and the stories that keep us up at night. Click the notification bell so you never miss when we uncover another mystery that'll make you question everything. Share this video. Keep Sophia's story alive. Awareness matters. Someone out there might have that one crucial piece of information. Drop your theories in the comments. What do you think happened to Sophia Koetsier? I read every single comment, and honestly, sometimes you all come up with angles I haven't even considered. And check out these other unsolved mysteries that'll keep you thinking for days. I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, stay safe out there.